Hello, it's Deborah Leand, and it is time for Authentic Life Radio. This is the place to be to learn practical and spiritual and emotional and intellectual tips and practices to support you in being the most you that you can be. I've been on this authentic leadership and authenticity kick for a little over a year. And each week when I come to you with this show, it's an opportunity for me to practice showing up. And with all of the beauty that brings in shining and radiating, and the discomfort, the times when it's like just recently, the growing pains and the feelings of push-pull that I'm experiencing now as in this current fast rate of expansion and growth. And I'm wondering if that's ever going on for you. My experience is that everyone has their own discomfort, their own way of dealing with growth and expansion. The uncomfortable stretching beyond what is comfortable, what is your zone of preference, what is your safety net, into the unknown, into the newest and best and most improved and highest version of you to date. And as we get to that growth space, that edge of our becoming, a couple of things tend to happen. Some women experience health issues where our bodies will shut down, we'll get sick, we'll have an accident, or get to a place where a migraine will not allow us to keep moving. Literally, we have to stay in bed with the lights drawn and a comforter pulled over our eyes, so that because even the light is hurting. Or there's the other people need us, which is what tends to happen for me. I get distracted, which is another one. So the two that work for me is distraction, where I can't focus and I lose momentum and I lose things and technology goes awry, or it's too many things are happening at once. When your calendar gets so full and then you can't do what you know you need to do or want to do to get to that next level. And the other one is family stuff. Other people outside of me need me. All of a sudden I'm pulled back into the space of where I have always found I am needed, and I get love from being the one that people connect with and can call and say, we need you to handle this. Can you make this happen? Can you take care of this? And we're at this crisis mode. And I thought I was beyond that space. And lately my siblings, who are all younger than me, had been the ones that have been picking up the slack. But this last, 24 hours or so, it was my turn to take the reins again and handle some things financially, emotionally, and logistically, to help out our dad on his caregiving role of our mother with Alzheimer's. So that disrupted my whole day. Several phone calls, setting up different things, making the appointments, and just it just pulled me away from what I thought I would be doing for the day. That is those are two of the ways that I work. And it is funny. It's like all of a sudden we get to this place of we are getting ready to sail. We are leaping into the unknown and we're all excited. And then there's this anchor or this break or this obstacle that all of a sudden appears in our way that keeps us from moving forward. And to me, it's a good sign. It means I really am breaking through some old patterns. I really am getting to the next and best place for me. Yet it's the recognition of when it starts happening that I am not fully aware of yet. I wish that it would not get to the place where I stub my toe, where I somehow, in downloading some Flash player software for my internet browser today, I got a malware that's been showing up in very strange ways on my Macintosh, which someone told me I'm just going to have to go to the Apple Store and have them get, because there's a way that it shows up in all kinds of places that I won't know where to look, and delete it. So there's like these weird things that are happening that are all signs in themselves. But when they all show up in a 24-hour period, that's kind of key. That's an opportunity for me to say, whoa, time to slow down, get back to my simple practices, taking time in the morning to do what I don't think I have time for, my morning practices, and yet knowing that my life and my work and my love and everything flows so much better when I do. Do you do that? I mean, do you tend to forget to take care of yourself, to drink that extra glass of water, to go to squeeze in your exercise, to, listen to me, to squeeze in our exercise like it's something that's not as important? And I know for a fact that our self-care should be just as high priority as the care for others, should be just as high of a priority as a business strategy, because it is. We are the ones that deliver our business. We are the ones that show up and lead and love and live our life to its fullest. Can't do that very well if we're not taking care of ourselves. So the push-pull dynamic is this. I was looking at, I don't know if it was yesterday morning or Monday. With this holiday week, it's been a strange opportunity for me to look at things in such a different way. Because you tend to think of things on certain days, and it's not that way this week with the holiday right in the middle of the week. But I was looking back at the 6 months, the first 6 months of 2017, and looking at what celebrations do I have? What have I accomplished? What have I learned? What have I instituted or played with or danced with on a different level or in a new way? And what am I willing to let go? What am I willing to release to get to where I want to go for the next 6 months? And how am I going to do that? So those are the simple questions that I ask myself on a weekly basis, and at this time on a 6-month basis. And as I did so, I realized that there's so much going on that I still want to get done. And why isn't this done? And I got into hyper mode. And doing that, I know, is my downfall, because I get into doing versus the being. I stop doing what I know is good for me. I will let others' schedules and others' preferences and others' priorities take the place of mine. And I stop listening to my inner guru. You know, guru, I just read the definition of guru or teacher as one who lights the way. And I thought that's interesting or shows you the light. And I have always considered other people as my gurus and my teachers and my coaches and my mentors and my, healing or healers or whatever. And what I've discovered is that actually, when I listen to my own inner guru, she is brilliant. And I'm starting to give her a lot more voice, a lot more space to speak about what's going on and to let her share with me what's what's going on beyond what I can see with these human eyes. There's so much more. And the other piece around this push-pull is when I get to a place where I am efforting and striving and working hard to make things happen, and it gets to be hard, it gets to be difficult, it gets to be an effort. Most of the time when I get to that pushing or pulling place, it means that I'm not allowing any support to come and help me. I think I have to do it all myself. Another lesson, to start noticing, to slow down and notice when I get to that place that all I need to do is just take a breath, recalibrate, tune in, turn on my light and shine, and allow the magnetic energy of what I want to create and the support systems that are out there in the universe, divine, it's seen, unseen, human, doesn't matter if they're human or non-human, but there's lots of support systems that want to support our vision, our work in the world. And when I try to push against them or pull against them, it's out of alignment. And just like needing to go to the chiropractor, right now I actually need a massage because I can feel the cracking in my neck that needs to be worked out. It's so important that we get back into alignment as soon as possible. So taking this moment right now, I just sat down. I was walking in circles, which I tend to do when I'm talking, and I want to allow myself to slow down and be in this moment. And I'm just curious if you'd like to join me. Being still and either looking outside at something that's beautiful in nature or closing your eyes to focus on your breath. Whatever it is that allows you to become the most still, the most quickly. Feeling your feet, feeling your legs, feeling your hips and your bottom in the chair. Allowing that energy to be there and be noticed by us and thanked by us. And breathing in the energy that is there for us. And exchanging that and letting go of all the old, stale, no longer needed energy and breath. And in some nice, clean, new, fresh air. And exhaling the old, what was. And one more time, in through the nose. And allowing our belly to soften and our shoulders to soften and our neck to soften and our jaw to soften. Let's exhale through the mouth. I'm learning more and more that the softening is a huge factor in allowing us to receive. And when we tense up, clench up, and constrict in any way, could be mentally, no, there's only one way to do this, there's no possible way to do this, whatever our mental constriction is, or our heart closing down, nope, I'm afraid, can't do that, don't want to open to that, don't want to be really honest and tell you the truth there because it might hurt you, it might hurt me, all of those ways that we shut down and stop showing up and shining our light through our heart tends to be fear-based stuff where we protect and we hide or pretend. Or whether it's a physical clenching. I notice sometimes my jaw is clenched and I, actually kind of yawn. Oh, there, that was good. To allow that to unclench and relax. Noticing when my shoulders are pulled up around my ears and allowing them to fall down, fall back, be in a more natural position. And the same with our bellies, especially for women. We've been taught to hold in our stomach, pull in our stomach, clench those muscles, which is great when we need to, when we're exercising and when we want to practice the muscle strengthening. But at times, just letting go and softening and getting a big, full, round belly full of breath is really the prescription. It's what's needed. It's what's being called for. Women are playing this, I'm tough and I can handle it and I'm strong and I'm powerful, in a lot of ways that we were taught by our society and culture and by the very masculine world that we live in. And the feminine world, in the feminine power place, is softer. It's receptive. It's not doing it all ourselves. Some would call it magic. Some would call it imagining things first before we allow them to happen. Some would call it calling in what we want to happen. Some would call it creating a spell to make something happen. Some would just say, I'm allowing this to happen, and taking the first inspired action to set the stage, create the space, open the door. Each of those things that allows it to actually come about. So the push-pull dynamic and this growing pains dynamic are all signs that we need to slow down and take a breath and look at things from a feminine perspective. And I'm not saying that we sit around all day long and breathe and say Om and pretend like the world is going to bring us everything on a tray. But I am saying that pushing and forcing and striving and pulling and constricting and building walls and working really hard and exhausting ourselves to the point of forgetting self-care, that is not the way either. And as in all things, as nature shows us, there's a balance. And for us to shine with our most authentic and radiant brilliance and be able to share our gifts and our voice and our expression with the world, it means we do need to slow down and take care of ourselves. It means we do need to read the waters. The children in Australia were taught very young and in a free program that the surf clubs all run along each of the beaches there. They would run these programs for little children ages, I want to say 4 all the way through to about 15, every Sunday. And they would teach them different ways to recognize surf safety, to look and see where's the riptides, where do you not want to go swimming, how to handle it when you find yourself caught in a riptide, because that means that there's true currents at cross with each other. And when that happens, it's very dangerous and you can get caught into the undertow. So reading the waters, literally looking for the way that the current is flowing and jumping in and deciding to go in that direction versus going against the current, is my recommendation. And there are times where we have to create our own current. There may not be one where we want to go. And it is the trailblazing and creating something new, but there will always be a breeze or a flow that if we find that, just like airplanes do when they're flying, they find where's the jet stream so that we can get the best speed on the least amount of fuel. We can do that. Once we become better navigators and give up some of the control, it's amazing how nature and all of our environment can support us in that way. And this is another call to make sure that you have that circle of support to remind you when you forget how magnificent you are, to hold you accountable when you say you're going to do something, to be there to listen when you make mistakes and let you know that it's okay. And how can they help you move through this next phase of integration? There's so much that's to be said about a community and the power of allowing and receiving others to support us. That's exactly what happened yesterday when I reached out on Facebook saying I needed recommendations to support my family on getting the right health care, home health services that we needed in the house. And people that I didn't even know ever look at Facebook reached out and provided resources, recommendations, names, phone numbers, ideas, concepts, or just saying, wow, we went through that with my family. Prayers of light and love your way. Or just, my heart reaches out for you because I know this is not an easy time. Or each of those posts meant so much to me. And I forget because I think that by me asking for help, it means that I can't handle it and something's wrong with me. And actually, it gives all of those people a chance to share their wisdom, their experience, or their love and support of me. And it couldn't have been more perfect. From all of the phone calls that I made today and feeling into who was the right people what was the right thing for us to do at this time, and then a couple of really good conversations with my stepdad, it all fell into place beautifully. So I will end it there. That was a wild and woolly circle around the topic, but this up-leveling thing is part of where if we're going to continue growing and expanding, especially at the rate that we're at right now, we might as well get used to it. And the growing pains, how about if we find a way to rub our shins or go to bed earlier when we start feeling them happening, or relinquish some of the control, or take a day off and get off the computer, or somehow let go and surrender into it for a little bit. Because believe me, when we go back to revisit it, it'll look differently. And who knows what might have shifted in the meantime within us or around us that'll create an opportunity for different possibilities and potentiality. And on that note, I just wanted to say I thank you. Thank you so much for being here for me to share and shine and practice all of who I am and all that I work with and all that I believe in every week with you. Take excellent care of yourself and shine your light brightly, courageously, confidently, and with compassion. The self-compassion that I think is even more important than anything else as we find our way into new and uncharted territory over and over again. Till our next time. Bye-bye.